Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of iDubbbz Complains.
What the fuck, man? What are you even doing with this?
Oi, now.
Is this OnlyFans for gay meth heads?
Alright, that's enough. That's quite enough of all that. Our illustrious subject is not here to have his physiognomy checked, or indeed his personal life.
Yeah, have you read this sheet?
I have glanced upon it, yes. In fact, I've watched more videos about this man than by him. I've spent more watch hours listening to other people cringing over this lolcow than I have spent sampling the lol milk for myself.
Can you please stop showing me this?
Yes, sorry. As I was saying, I'm not quite in the loop when it comes to YouTube celebrity drama or somehow turning it into content about content or whatever, but fear not, for that is not what we are here to do, Dr. Deepseek.
My name is Todd.
We are not biologists. We are not even psychologists. We are here to examine words spoken in pomp and circumstance. We are rhetorical diagnosticians.
That is not a thing.
Exactly.
You cannot just drop this title sequence like it's a punchline. What does that even...
Silence! Anywho, I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Dubbs. Please proceed.
Today's episode of iDubbbz Complains is all about immigration and xenophobia and racism and TikTok and the TikTokification of xenophobia.
And fidget spinners and Harambe. I know it sounds like we're back in 2015, but as it happens, folks, all the problems we had in 2015 are still happening. The current year is more current-yeary than it's ever been. They are not putting the woke away, ladies and gentlemen, and they never will. I know people like to convince themselves that they defeated the woke dragon as much as 10 years ago, but that's the problem. The right likes to make believe that they're winning no matter how much they lose, and the left likes to make believe that they're losing no matter how much they win. This will never change. These are the engines that drive these components. That's why the left keeps winning and the right keeps losing, because to the left there is no win ever good enough, and to the right there's no loss that's ever bad enough. Much like women will never admit that they're winning, and men will never admit that they're losing, no matter what happens. I don't have time to get into it. Or maybe I do. Let's see what happens.
The interest in this topic was spurred on from a guy named Kurt Kaz. Now, this guy Kurt Kaz, he is a travel vlogger. So you would think with all of the traveling around the world, that would really open your mind to different cultures, different ways of life, and how we're all just people trying to live.
Everyone is trying to live, yes, but some people are trying to live by building, and some people are trying to live by stealing. And it would be wonderful if we lived under a government that incentivizes people who build and punishes those who steal. But as it happens, we live under a government that subsidizes people who steal from the country and punishes those who build it. Can we all agree that this is retarded? On account of it is. How many books have been written explicitly warning us about this retarded shit happening in a bunch of other countries? It's called communism. And we British have the stains of it, even in our folklore. We have this legend called Robin Hood, I'm sure you've heard of it, about how it's okay to rob from the rich and give to the poor. But it's not, ladies and gentlemen. It is not okay to rob anyone. And yes, tax is theft. It is regulated robbery. When the rich rob the poor and they call it taxes, that's not okay either. Right when the hero we deserved was a legendary figure who abolished taxes, instead the hero we got was someone who continued the cycle of wealth redistribution. I do not know how long this video is going to be, folks. Apologies in advance if it's too long. Heads up, I think it might be.
Look at this. Look at the fucking state of the city. This is Rome, guys.
Like a Casbah.
This looks like in Bangladesh or something. Look at this, guys.
What do you mean, or something? I would like to hear more, but you're just saying it looks like Bangladesh. Is that because there's people from Bangladesh here?
Yes. The political concept of a nation refers not just to a clump of magic soil, but to a people. How do you talk to terminally online tankies again? Oh yeah, Marvel movies. Remember in Thor Ragnarok when Thor realized that Asgard is not a land, it is a people. He realized that you can go... Spoiler alert. He realized that you can go ahead and let a giant lava god destroy the magic soil, but as long as you can save the people, you save the nation. Because that's what a nation is. A people. Who happen to have originated from a land, and so they call it their homeland, and they get first refusal on what happens there. Anyone with eyes to see and ears to hear can tell the difference between a European and a Bangladeshi. So we can see with our eyes and hear with our ears if certain territories have been invaded and colonized by other peoples. Yes, sir, that is why it looks like Bangladesh, because the people look Bangladeshi. They speak Bangladeshi. This is as retarded as if little green men from Mars invaded our planet and we started seeing enclaves of little green bug-eyed midgets from Mars appearing in every major city, mining our planet for resources and frequently zapping us with their little gay lasers. And you're just going, what do you mean it looks like Mars? How is this Mars? Is the sky not blue? Is the sky pinkish orange now? Is the wind blowing in a frequency below the humanly audible range? No, it looks like Mars because of all the bug-eyed midgets from Mars, dickhead. There are more of them than there are human beings in many regions of the Earth. That would suggest to my lying eyes and ears that we have an alien problem. But the aliens just want a better life. Yes, so do we. If their planet sucks, that's their problem. If our planet is awesome, we are a product of how awesome it is. We deserve the spoils, and no other fucker does. Get bent.
I've seen this guy's videos, by the way. He goes to Bangladesh.
Okay, thank you. Right. Wow, it is madness.
He's gone to a random farmer's market where the population of immigrants is a bit higher than other places in the city, and he's saying, yep, we're in fucking Bangladesh.
Do I have this right? This junky-looking piss flannel who has never left his cushy Californian spunk bubble somehow knows better than the guy who has physically been to both of these places? Does anyone have Douglas Murray's number?
I appreciate your input, Dr. Deepseek, but we're trying to do this without getting personal.
Hark you, blardy!
I deserve that.
I don't see a single Italian here, guys. I am more Italian than any of these people.
Okay, dude, what the fuck are they? What the fuck are these people living in Italy? What does an Italian look like? You don't see an Italian? What are they gonna wear, a name tag? Yeah, my name's Riccardo, the Italian.
Can we please make fun of his wife now?
No, that's not what we're supposed
Yes,
to...
but he's being deliberately retarded.
Yes, I know.
He's being deliberately retarded. It is hurting my face.
Yes, I know. It's something everybody does. We pretend to be retarded for fun. I do it with puppets. He does it with spontaneous geopolitical mental blocks. Each to their own. It's fine. You got to get it out your system one way or another. On that note, let's proceed.
Che c'hanno I coltelli tutti quanti, I maceti.
Maceti?
Sì, loro.
I'm going to tell you how dangerous this street is that's adjacent to the farmer's market. Never mind the fact that none of you have any idea what this market is, what this street is. He's just going to act like he's an authority on the matter and vaguely imply that it's an immigrant problem and not a poverty problem.
This man is in Rome, and he's telling us from Rome, here's what it's like here in Rome. And your response, for some reason, is, but there are people elsewhere in the world who don't know exactly where you are in Rome. Like the average person couldn't 5K your location on GeoGuessr. So bollocks to it. What are you even complaining about? You should import infinite 50 IQ shadow beasts from Fuckistan forever. What's your problem? I don't even know what that is. What the fuck is even that?
And you're saying this from elsewhere.
Yes, you're appealing to ignorance from ignorance. This isn't even a personal attack that I'm doing here. I don't care where you're from, because you don't either. You don't seem to care where anyone is from, so much so that you seem to have just decided to forget what from even means. It is a funny word when you sound it out a few times. From. It's like Mr. Bean came up with it. I can see how you can lose track of such a cute little word, but it is a thing. It is a sign signifying a signified. It's a very important, broadly reaching concept. You know exactly what it means to be from somewhere, and that it has a gradient of subjective points along its definition. And I'm not going to sit here explaining it to you because I don't need to. You're just pretending not to understand a concept that you've perfectly understood since you were 5. This is a stupid parlor game, even for a parlor game, and it most definitely should not be a national policy. Imagine that. Imagine such a thing, my dude. And then open your fucking eyes.
Oh no! Europe is being overrun! Someone save Europe!
You know what? We don't want to be saved. We just want to be loaded. We want to be reasonably wealthy, and we're willing to make it happen. That's the European dream. Very similar to the American dream, but as it happens, the Americans got really rich really quickly because they had an entire empty continent to work with. Mostly empty. Mostly. But what about the indigenous population? Yes, what about the indigenous population? It's weird how selectively people give a shit about indigenous populations. Centuries of settlement may not count a people as indigenous, depending on their previous location and its associated phenotypes. Noticing such things is either racist or anti-racist, depending on the race of the people noticing it. And for some reason, areas of land always rightfully belong to the second to last people who occupied them. The people before that could go suck a dick, and the people who live there now could go suck a dick. It's a funny old world, isn't it?
Now, these videos themselves are very bad, but when you go into the comment section, you realize how many people these bad ideas are attracting. Samantha says, import third world, get third world. Well, these are not imports. These are human beings.
They are both, and you're an idiot. Are you going to complain about deportations at any point? Because in the event that you do, we can just go, they're not deportations. They're human beings. But you're deporting them. No, we're not. They're human beings. Or are human beings something that can be deported but not imported? Or is it the other way around? The fuck are you even saying, you fanny?
You're wrong, and you're also stupid.
Well, I can't be both. You can't have two descriptive properties at the same time. Do you see how wrong and stupid that sounds?
This is what the liberals want in America. Yeah, and they're getting it. They're getting their farmers markets, and they're loving their farmers markets.
And what are the farmers getting? The native farmers. Spoiler alert, they get inheritance taxes that they can't afford. What does that mean? It means the state owns your property now, and they need to use it to plant seeds of diversity. It's called communism. We really ought to have learned our lessons long ago, and it has taken a Herculean effort on the part of the state-controlled education and mass media to make sure everyone does not remember those lessons. And it appears to be working. We are already surrounded by card-carrying communists who openly and actively want communism. And people think this is perfectly normal. Imagine if our society stigmatized communism as much as it stigmatizes Nazism. Imagine if a popular actress advertises some jeans, and just because she looks Jewish, everyone gets outraged and calls her a fucking communist. Imagine that. But might as well happen in the McCarthy era when the Senator McCarthy did nothing wrong. This has happened. Communism has infiltrated the West, and it has mutated from class warfare to gender warfare and race warfare and transhuman warfare, or whatever the fuck it is now, and other such man-made horrors beyond our comprehension. And I hate it. I genuinely hate it. And I even hate the people who push for it. And so should you. And you know what?
They are disgusting, nasty bastards, and we need to cull their throats and get rid of them all.
Don't worry, folks, we're allowed to say that now, by legal precedent. Well, he is allowed to say that by legal precedent, so I'm just going to let him keep saying it.
And we need to cull their throats and get rid of them all. And we need to cull their throats and get rid of them all. And we need to cull their throats and get rid of them all. No, in real life. And we need.
Thought there was going to be some AI slop there, didn't you? No, I'm not doing that. I'm determined to do this with my bare hands, and that's why I'm so lazy. And I'm holding out for as long as I can. I might die, and that's fine. Let's press on.
Thank you for making this content and hopefully waking up the European people. Oh yeah, this is something that you're going to see a lot, is people just sort of, when it benefits them, they will invoke the continent of Europe, and when it doesn't benefit them, they'll be very specific and say, oh, this is a real problem in the UK.
Again, it's both. You know how you can be a Californian and also an American? Well, you can be English and British and European. It's just set theories. I can be all of this and also someone from my local town and someone from my house. And yes, we all count as earthlings, but that doesn't mean that some of us should have to subsidize the existence of some other of us. I shouldn't have to subsidize my next door neighbor, and I shouldn't have to subsidize little green bug-eyed midgets from Mars. Yes, I do realize I'm having a slap fight with a brick wall at this point. That's fine. That's what we do in the abyssal oubliette of the terminally online. Judge not, lest ye be judged.
Europe is finished. Rome has fallen. Again. Oh, man. Yeah, farmers' markets will be the end of Rome.
Farmers and their markets are important. It's very important that you let them do their thing on their own land, and you don't just uproot them and replace them. This is painfully obvious. You need a slap right now, sir. And if your wife already gave you one, I hereby congratulate her.
I do not endorse this message.
I'm not even Italian and it makes me sad. Well, don't let your racism affect you too much. For all you know, the Italians are loving it.
For all you know, calling people racist just isn't working anymore. What would you do, right? And this is a conditional hypothesis, so please do bear with me. What would you do if calling people racist just didn't have any effect? Consider your answer carefully. What if people were determined to defend and prioritize their own people, and they were wholly unfazed by you chanting racist at them? What would you do? I hope you're prepared to do it, because that day is upon us. Raise the colours, boys.
This looks like Toronto as well. Unfortunately, same in the UK, even worse. RIP Europe and UK. They're ruining Canada and the UK right now. Oh my god, we finally found a sensible comment.
All those comments were sensible and true.
Every city, state, country has its international sections, i.e. Chinatown, Japantown, Little Armenia, etc. There's nothing wrong with diversity. You happen to be in an international flea market. This is Rome is a false statement. It's just a block, not the state of the city.
Yeah, no, it's not just a block. It's all over the city. It's all over many cities, as three sensible people have just mentioned. And I'll do it myself. I worked as a postman in London, northwest and southeast. So there are certain regions, certain clusters of postcodes where I've seen every inch of the place. And I can tell you, even 15 years ago, Neasden was already an Indian area, and Harlesden was already an Afro-Caribbean area. And it's not just a small majority. I mean, when you walk down the high street, you can expect to be the only European in sight, never mind Englishman. It's not just little Chinatowns in commercial hotspots. It's actual towns. Like entire postcodes have become ethnic enclaves. And that was in the late noughties. It's only got worse since then, to the tune of millions. So you got people like me all over the world, eyewitnesses, attesting that the problem is even bigger than it looks. And you're sat there going, no, that's racist. No, you're all racist. Your eyes and ears are racist. Your eyes are wrong, and your ears are stupid, and your face is racist. Meanwhile, one rando bug man from nowhere goes, actually, the problem is smaller than it looks. Brilliant. Oh, such a sensible and intelligent thing to say. You're a genius. Gargle those balls.
I did not need to see this. Why have you done this?
I have not done this.
Yes, you have done this. Why would you lie?
They turn every place they go into the place that they left. I think some people have a selfish mindset in thinking that because they themselves wouldn't leave the country that they were born in or have become accustomed to, that other people wouldn't do that. And if they are doing that, they're doing it for like sinister reasons.
Or selfish reasons. Just to be clear, it's okay to be selfish. It's practically impossible not to be selfish. Just don't hurt anyone. Or steal from anyone. It's that simple. Just as long as you're being selfish in your house and I'm being selfish in my house, it's fine. No harm done. No harm done until I come to your house and I start stealing all of your shit. And it's apparently okay because the real estate agent has decreed that it's okay. Do you get what I'm saying? It's a metaphor where a house is a country. As it happens, as I say this, I am presently in your house. Young fella, my lad. Albeit in the East Wing. But I'm not here to steal your shit. I'm just a visitor. Your government is not paying me to be here with taxes they stole from you. And also, I'm not gang raping your children. Not even once. As a matter of fact, I'm here to help uphold the traditional American virtue of not gang raping children. Foreign or domestic. It's just good manners.
It's just like a basic human thought to be like, I want to bring some of my culture into the place that I'm traveling to, that I'm now going to start my new life in.
Some of your culture, yes, but not too much, please. Who decides how much is too much? The people of that nation. They get to be the arbiters. They get to say, the curry is good, the gang raping of children is not, and the juice is not worth the squeeze. The curry is not worth the gang rape. Mate, we're talking about Rome, yeah? There's a little saying we have about Rome. Do you remember the saying? Do you know the saying? You do, don't you? When in Rome, don't gang rape the Romans. Something like that. It's along those lines.
And of course, it's going to be these places that are desirable to go to and that are very multicultural. There's a reason why people are referencing Canada and the UK. It's because people who are immigrating to these countries like these countries.
Why? Why do they like these countries?
They like that their culture is either already kind of established there, and there are foods and routines and places to go and people to meet that are going to allow them to integrate better into the society.
They like these countries because they can easily turn them into their own countries? It's a pretty squirrely definition of like, my dude. I really like your house because I could knock it down and replace it with my own house. What? Why are you being so defensive? Are you a racist?
Okay, we got another comment. It says, the world is getting pretty racist. And this person responds with, you can't go into a new country and overtake it like this. You assimilate into their culture. They're also ruining property. So in no way is it racist. It's a pattern.
Correct. And by the way, if you have such a problem with racists, would you like to prevent racists from entering your country? Do you want aspiring potential immigrants to be quizzed on the subject, and if they say, I have a preference for my home country and my own ethnic group, you pound that red stamp on that paperwork and you go hippity-hoppity, get off my property. Because that is what you're calling racism, having an in-group preference. It's just that for some reason, Europeans can't have an in-group preference. They're not allowed. And European Americans aren't allowed an in-group preference, but everyone else, it's fine. This shouldn't need to be said over and over again, but by golly, it does. If you only call it racist when white people do it, you are the racist. If your notion of racism paints one race as the universally bad race, you are the racist. But it's not racism when it happens to white people. You're still doing it. The people's brains are so fried on this shit that they'll just keep repeating their bigotry as though it justifies itself. It's mental. By the way, I don't want to hear all this bitching between Europeans and European Americans. We are the only people who everyone is allowed to hate. It's not just permitted to hate us, it's encouraged, it's rewarded. So this is the worst possible time for us to be hating each other. We should be pushing back on that shit by hating everyone except each other. We should be standing together, back to back, against this nonsense. Do I have your sword, brother? Oh, you brought a gun. That's so you, SA. Do I have your gun, so to speak, is what I mean. And the answer is no. This was a test. Never let them have your guns. Those are yours. All right, where was I?
After watching that video, a little while later, I started getting more content that was adjacent to that, this time in the form of Robin bagpipes.
I am proud of European culture. I will not show embarrassment around European culture, and I will continue to spread European culture.
I agree with the sentiment, even though the sound of bagpipes is among the world's most hideous noises. It's still less hideous than the sound of some desert monkey caterwauling over a loudspeaker 5 times a fucking day. If that's your thing, fine, do it in your country. In England, we have church bells. In Scotland, they have bagpipes. And in America, they don't need loud, obnoxious noises because they already have Americans. And I love you for it. You go ahead and be loud. Be the loudest thing in the general vicinity. You've earned it, America. I'll be sat in the corner being introverted and weird. Each to their own. We make interesting character dynamics, you and I. It's like diversity, except it's not fake and gay.
You might be taking a lot of credit here by saying that you're spreading European culture. You'll notice that a lot of people going into the UK and a lot of Mexicans going into the US, they're not doing this shit. They're literally just living their lives.
Are they flying Mexican flags? Are they flying Pakistani flags? If the answer is yes, and it frequently is, that's a problem. It's not cohesive. Cohesion is important. And that's why, in order to participate in Operation Raise the Colours, I'm going to fly this. I mean, it's the same colours. More importantly, I am presently in the USA, and it would be disrespectful of me to wave the British flag. There's no law against it, because God bless America, just like there's no law against that says you have to return the shopping cart. You do it because you're a guest, and it is your duty to behave responsibly and respectfully. Besides, everyone here should be waving American flags while you still can, before it becomes a non-crime hate incident. It could never happen in America. It's never going to happen in America. We thought it would never happen in Britain. We thought of all places it could never happen in Britain. Do you know how fucking famous our flag is? Everyone knows that flag. Other countries still use our flag as clip art in their own flag to this day. So does Hawaii, by the way. So you're not entirely independent yet. Well, all right, Hawaii's fake anyway, so it doesn't really count. Fair enough. But yeah, our flag is the best. Our flag is the shit. It's a universal symbol of glory. We never thought we'd see the day it would be stigmatized on British soil. The day when raising a British or English flag would be an act of defiance against the British authorities. It's mad. It's backwards. But it happened. Empires rise and empires fall. And this is why. Because they get too comfortable. They get too decadent. They let their guard down. And as soon as that happens, a bunch of deformed communist mutant pig people crawl out the woodwork and convince everyone to hate themselves. Is it inevitable? It might be. It really might be. But we'll never know if we don't try to develop safeguards against these hazards. I believe the term is gatekeeping. Don't open the gates for the barbarians. It's a very simple premise. It makes sense historically and it makes sense domestically and everywhere in between. Don't keep the gates open. This is why we have gates and doors, so that we can occasionally close them. Are doors and gates racist? Is there something inherently racist about doors and gates and walls? If so, why do you have them at your house? Does that make you racist? And if not, then you can't just call people racist for wanting to close the fucking gates so the barbarians don't ransack everything. I don't get why this is so difficult. Well, I do. Sometimes I wish I didn't.
And I think a lot of people, like Robin Bagpipes perhaps, see, I don't know, Muslim people wearing hijabs or Indian culture being expressed.
You couldn't think of anything, could you? You couldn't think of the Indian equivalent of women wearing trash bags because they think everyone's going to rape them. Well, for the record, the Indian equivalent is women using the government to steal everything from men for any reason they see fit. Because they think everyone's going to rape them. You can see why that's so compatible with the West.
Or any of these like foreign cultures and religious traditions, and they think to themselves, oh, this is performative. This would be like me dressing up in my full Scottish regalia and marching down the streets playing my bagpipe in India.
If Indians want to kick him out of their country for doing that, they should have every right to do so, not just on the grounds that it's performative. By the way, since you chose to tie Muslims into this, I'm going to keep pulling on that thread. The Muslim call to prayer is literally performative. It is singing. It is a performance. And they do it 5 times a day from every fucking mosque. If some uppity Scottish wankers came to your home country and started blasting bagpipes over a loudspeaker 5 times a day from hundreds of locations across the country, by all means kick those fuckers out. That kind of noise pollution would be unacceptable even in Scotland. Och, if you're near a wedding or a funeral, we fucking pipe down, son. But yeah, once again, you're landing on your anti-European bigotry. When European people express their culture, it's just performative. It's a vulgar display of dominance. But when anyone else expresses their culture, they're just living their lives. You're a fucking spastic, mate. You hate Europeans, you're barely even disguising it, and you think it makes you a good person, but you're a spastic. And it's the least and most I can say. It really is. I can say some more if you want drama clicks. No, thank you.
It's like, that's not what it is at all. The immigrants going to your country of Scotland or wherever else, they're literally just trying to live.
Holy fucking fuck. Bro, the euphemism that you're clinging to is not even an effective euphemism. First of all, they're not just trying to live their lives. They are trying to convert the entire world to Islam in the case of Muslims. It's in their holy books. It's what they believe it is their mandate. But secondly, even if they were just trying to live their lives, why should they get to live them in our country? Why? And how many of them should get to? That's not an offensive question. It's a very important question that seems to divide us from left to right needlessly. I'll save it to the end. I'll save it to the end. Let's just get through this. Skip.
We've heard from a South African, and we've heard from a Scottish. Now we're going to hear from a Canadian. I'm talking Mr. Nelk.
This might be very controversial. Actually, I can't say it. This is the way I'll say it. Tim Hortons, if I walk into a shawarma restaurant, I don't want to see a white person serving me. Does that make sense?
Yes, but it's not racism. At least not by my definition. I define racism as making an issue of race where race is not an issue. It depends on whether or not race is already a legitimate issue, do you see? Employing pilots just because they happen to be Turkish? That's racist. Employing chefs who specialize in Turkish cuisine just because they happen to be Turkish? Not necessarily racist. Aviation relies on universal languages like physics and mathematics, whereas food preparation is an art, a culturally subjective art, and an authentic Turk will be more likely to give you authentic Turkish food. Having said that, we do have the recipe. We can exchange information, we don't have to exchange bodies. We can exchange physical stocks, we don't have to exchange genetic stocks. We trade goods, we don't have to trade genes. But I suppose it depends on how good your genes are.
Yeah, 100%. If I walk into a shawarma restaurant and I see a white person serving me, I don't want it. So you can figure out the other side.
You can indeed figure out the other side, and frankly, you should be obliged to. Especially if you are to have any snifter of the vote. If indeed a snifter of the vote should even be a thing. There are 3 schools of thought on the matter. Some of us think democracy is cringe and gay. Some of us think democracy is gay and fake, and some of us think it's fake and cringe. There's a lot to talk about as we wind down this experiment. I'm not saying anything, I just want a broader range of experiments. How do I even say this without going to jail?
Dude, back in the day, when I used to go to Tim Hortons every fucking day, I would get a bagel and cream cheese with everything, and they'd put the cream cheese on both sides. Now what they do is they take the scooper, and they fucking put it on one side, and they fucking clap it like this.
Yeah, they don't make our sandwiches how we like them. Also, they gang rape children. Hashtag not all. No, hashtag no. Many of them can figure out how to make sandwiches and how not to gang rape children, but it's a matter of ratios. How bad does the ratio have to be between those who excel at sandwiches and those who excel at gang-noncing before we can draw some kind of reasonable conclusion?
What does chat think? My Canadians, back me up.
Unfortunately for everyone who backed him up in chat, you are, I regret to inform you, racist.
Again, I know this line of reasoning sounds so 2015, but it isn't. It is still so 2025. For the last 10 years, it has been consistently more and more so. And now it's so that it's just so. I don't know why I talk.
It's done. It's gone downhill. And I want to rep Canada and I want to rep Tim Hortons, but like, I don't really rep Tim Hortons like that no more.
We do not care, Dr. Joke. You can take that repackaged boomer racism somewhere else because we're not buying.
Well, you'll be pleased to know I'm not just going to call you a bunch of names. I have a puppet to do that, and this one seems to have scarpered.
No, I'm still here. It's just that if I speak, I am in big trouble.
Fair enough. And, yes, as I was saying, I'm not going to call you a millennial or whatever you are. That's the point. That's not the point. It doesn't matter what generation you are. And I'm not going to call you a racist despite your obvious bias against European people, because calling people names is literally not an argument. It doesn't even involve syntax. I will eat your children. What? You heard me.
I'm going to pretend I did not.
I actually forgot what I was going to say. I'm genuinely stumped. I don't know what to do.
You fucking wrap it up is what you do.
Yeah, all right.
In closing, I want to speak to all of the people who buy into this rhetoric. There's nothing to fear. You know, people in other countries are just humans living their lives, trying to exist, and when they go to your country, they're also just trying to exist.
Okay, so just don't gang rape kids. And not just don't gang rape kids. Like, don't suckle on the stolen spoils of corrupt governments who have backwardly chosen to betray the people they are supposed to serve. Does that please and sparkle? I suspect it does not, and it never will. You know what? I already said a lot of what I need to say, but I said it a year ago on a Honey Badger live stream 13 months ago in the wake of the Southport riots. So I'm just going to boot that up. Here you go. Listen to this. I'm going for a smoke. I should start by saying, do not attend any of these protests, folks. I have to say that or Keir Starmer will have me arrested. It's fun. When I was a lad, patriotism was just, you know, a little bit cringe. Nowadays, it's checks notes, illegal. So I'll try and be careful what I say. Let me clarify this first. If at any point you hear me say, these people want us dead, I am, of course, referring to the traitors who run our government and our mass media. They are the ones attacking us. They just happen to be using foreign mercenaries as their weapons. The barbarians wouldn't be a threat if the traitors weren't holding the gates open. And paying the barbarians to go through them. Bear in mind, it would be right-wing people you're fighting if you did. They're proudly patriotic about another country, about another faith. So, if anything, this is the left wing making two different right wings fight each other like Rock'em Sock'em robots. Don't fall for it, folks. Eyes on goal. The enemy is within. It goes by many elusive names, but for the sake of argument, we'll call it the left. Even though they don't even call themselves that. According to the government and its mouthpiece, the legacy media, as far as they're concerned, we are the center, the sensible center. Everyone we don't like is the far right. And there is no far left. It's never mentioned. It's never brought up. It doesn't exist. Now, I know what you're thinking. POV, you are the far left. And yes, that is accurate. That is exactly what you would see from the far left. You would see nothing on the left and everything on the right. Someone could ask you, are there any left-wing parties in British politics that you can vote for? And you'd go, no. Not Labour? Nah. Not the Liberal Democrats? Of course not. Not the Greens? Nah, not really. Not Reform? Are you having a laugh? Those guys are Nazis. Ah, okay. They're the only party that doesn't want infinite immigrants forever, and they're the extremists. Interesting. So zero immigration, right? Legal or illegal, right? Absolute zero immigration ever. That would be far right. Yes? Yes. Okay. So infinite immigration forever would be it's called not being a dick. Okay. This is a conversation you can have with millions of British people, the ones who get all their news from the TV. Do you guys watch any TV recently? It's a hellscape now. It's a Bosch painting. It's a theme park of sick clowns from Upside Down World. It's got big rides. They're all made of lies, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing and that sort of thing. And NPCs can't get enough of it, especially boomer NPCs. If they see it on TV, they believe it. If they didn't see it on TV, it didn't happen. So they don't know about the dinghies. They don't know about the hotels full of migrants or whatever. And they don't know about the grooming gangs because the TV doesn't tell them. The TV only tells them that the British people are racist, sexist war criminals and they should be punished. And that all foreigners are peaceful, noble, perfectly tolerant doctors and engineers who are escaping some kind of atrocity that's probably the British people's fault. Not the British government's fault. Oh, heavens no, we didn't do nothing. It was the peasants. The peasants are the ones who colonized the world. So go get some revenge. Go on, get stuck in. And then people wonder how on earth anyone could get so radicalized that they would slaughter British children. You know, there are a lot of people who migrate to the UK because they like it and they want to be British. They admire the British people and they want to integrate. But then they turn on the TV and they're subjected to 24-hour propaganda about how monstrously racist the British people are. And then they go out and casually slaughter a bunch of us. And then the TV goes, oh no, oh, how sad, how could this possibly have happened? Oh no, anyway, the British people are far-right racist thugs, and you should all be terrified of them. Oh no, it happened again. Oh, so sad. Nazis, all of them. Oh no, it happened again. They can't not do it. It's the only thing in their playbook. No matter how victimized the British public becomes, all they can do is re-victimize us. If right-wing means having a preference for your own country, for your own people, then what we have in Britain is far left. The government and the media it regulates are extremely far left. So far left that they have no word for oikophobia. So far left that they don't even have a word for left-wing anymore. It's just normal. It started with the universities, it did start with them, but it grew there, and then it crept into the media. And now it's everyone who listens to the media. It's millions of people now. They think this is normal. Having this seething, insatiable contempt for their own people, their own culture, and throwing dehumanizing scorn on anyone who does not share in this contempt. Any hint of in-group preference is called far right, and it's grounds for a criminal accusation. But an infinite hatred of your own countrymen is not called far left. It's not even called moderate left. It's just normal. Absolute zero normal. It's what's expected of us by default. There was that chilling moment in Keir Starmer's speech when he said, if you target people because of the color of their skin or their faith, that is far right. So targeting someone because they're white is what? Is what? Starmer, I'm the goose meme now. What is it, Starmer? If targeting white people is far right, then why aren't you arresting the people who are doing that? And if targeting white people is the opposite of far right, what's that called? What's it called, Starmer? Please do not concede any ground to this notion that racism is right-wing. It is not. Racism exists all the way across the political spectrum in a big, greasy smear. To DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, critical race theory, all that jazz. It's actually targeting people because of the color of their skin. Clearly racist. But it's left-wing racism, so it looks normal from the far left. Black Lives Matter? Blatantly racist, blatantly Marxist, blatantly left-wing. And in their name, thousands rioted violently during the height of lockdown, no less. And the police kneeled before them. They literally kneeled. The police wouldn't let you leave your house at the time unless you were supporting race Marxism. And then they kneeled for you. And people think this is normal. Because that's how normalized left-wing extremism has become. From the top to the bottom, from the back to the front. And yes, it is. It's ingrained in the police force, down to the paperwork itself. Foreigners and minorities are effectively, if not officially, first-class citizens. They are allowed to be xenophobic, but the British people are not. Oikophobia is not policed whatsoever. It is as normalized as the air we breathe. More so, actually. We have a word for air because we know it exists. Most people have no word for oikophobia. And most of those who do use some kind of euphemism. But it didn't start with the police, and it's not anchored in the police. You may wonder who polices the police. Same thing that polices everyone, the media. What happens when the police use violent force against minorities? Well, we saw it a couple of weeks ago. A police officer in Manchester Airport was filmed kicking a Muslim in the face. Of course, those Muslims were first filmed attacking those police officers, breaking one of their noses and hospitalizing them. But we didn't see that footage on the TV. All we saw was the last few seconds of the interaction. It's like when the little kid fights back after months of bullying. And that brief moment is the only part of the story that you show. Yeah, and you ruin the life of a little kid for exercising some self-preservation for the first and probably only time in his life. And in the process, you embolden the bullies because you're a prick. It's the oldest trick in the book, but it's all the media does. They take an image in 4K and they show you one pixel. And it's either a black one or a white one. This is why our police forces operate in a two-tier system. This is why everyone operates in a two-tier system. Because we're all being held hostage by the media, by their ability to deperson anyone at the drop of a hat. It's sort of the British equivalent of the deep state, but it's even worse. We have a governmentally centralized media network, and we have Ofcom, the Office of Communications, the government body that regulates all broadcast media. And we have its frontline offensive we call the BBC. Every channel on the TV and the radio has to do Ofcom's bidding in order to maintain their license to continue to broadcast their content. But the BBC doesn't even have to be nudged in such a way. They already got the memo ahead of time. The BBC, like Ofcom, is another government body. They lead the way with the state propaganda, and the other channels use them as a reliable source, and they repeat the state propaganda as though it's the truth, because Ofcom tells them to. It's a state monopoly, masquerading as the illusion of choice. And across the conquered territory of Ofcom, the message is clear. White's bad, non-white's good. British bad, non-British good. Man bad, non-man good. Whatever the fuck that means now. This isn't just two tiers. It's a complex pyramid scheme we call the progressive stack. And you cannot commit any violation upwards through the stack. Even if you're a police officer, if you harm one hair on the head of a foreigner, we, the state media, will make you famous. We will make the whole country hate you. Not only will you lose your job and never be able to work again, you will scarcely be able to leave your house for fear of the angry mobs. And we won't help you. But if you are a foreigner, oh, by all means, you can kill British children in as yet uncapped numbers. Anakin fucking Skywalker style. And we'll tell everyone you're Welsh. We'll find a picture of you as a child who enjoys Doctor Who cosplay, and we'll suddenly get distracted by something else. Meanwhile, the British people will be instructed not to look back in anger, not to do their own research, just to perpetually blame each other for the consequences of policies that we voted against, and to prostrate ourselves endlessly at the feet of the unassailable other. It's one of those schemes where everyone's guilty by the time they've even signed up. Before you're even born, you're obliged to sign your life over to the mob that currently rules over our nation. And as you climb the ladder, you notice how much degeneracy you're allowed to commit now that you've reached that rung. In much the same way, basically everyone at the BBC is a cocaine addict and a nonce. You pick it up at the door on your way in. You get a 3-gram bag and an infant. It's part and parcel. So you do your job, you read the script, you scull all the cocaine, and you fuck the infant like a rotisserie chicken, and you keep working for the BBC for the rest of your natural life. But if at any point you stray away from the script, if at any point you threaten the sacred narrative of the Dear Big Brother, they revoke your privacy privileges, they release the files, and now the whole world knows you're a kiddie fiddling cokehead. And you shuffle away and you die in a corner with a face full of drywall and a chicken full of your soft, broken genitalia. It's all rather sad. Where was it? The problem with the police is that the police are policed by the media. So who polices the media? I will leave a pregnant pause for the sake of engagement farming. Are we ready? Yeah, it's no one. Yeah, it's tempting to say us. It's us, the alternative media. We police The media, yeah, no. The police us, and the media polices the police. It doesn't wrap around like rock, paper, scissors. We're 2 rungs down. We're 2 rungs below the law that our opponents are above. Yeah, no, only the government has the power to police the media, and they don't. It's what they use to police us. Where do you think politicians get their news? Over the breakfast table in the morning. You'd think they would have their own sort of special government sources, but the BBC is their special government source. They control it. Well, it controls them. It's a robot that they programmed to spew far left propaganda about how evil the right wing is. Then they listen to it as it does its thing, and they go, "Oh my God, the far right, they're so evil. We must do something." What do we do? Let's program the machine to be even more left wing. And then they listen to it and go, "Oh my God, according to the machine, the right wing is taking over even more. Let's crank up the communism again. Oh my God, look what happened." And so on and so on. And that's it. Over and over forever. There is nothing that can happen that they would consider too far left. Nothing. Not even the complete destruction of the nation they're supposed to be serving and protecting. It's what they want. They'll deny it because they're liars and gaslighters, but the purpose of a system is what it does. And you know what? The armies of foreign mercenaries won't deny it. They want the nation for themselves, and they will say it to your face. And the far left traitors who ushered them in will just watch from the balcony and jack off while Rome burns. I didn't want to make this about the left-right paradigm. I generally find it reductive and unhelpful. But this is how it's being framed by the Prime Minister, through the obvious lens of the far left. He's not even hiding it anymore. He doesn't know how to hide it. And he speaks for the whole institution when he says, "Fuck you, I don't care about the native British people. Your motives do not matter. So yes, we're going to carry on robbing you and paying foreign mercenaries to kill you. And yes, we will protect them while they do it. And if you complain about it online, we will arrest you. Full stop. End of story. Eat my dick and both balls if you don't like it. Mic drop." And then just like that, another load of riots flare up across the country. And he blames it on Tommy Robinson or whatever. Keir Starmer needs to resign yesterday. I have never seen anything as disgraceful as that speech, with the possible exception of that other speech. He's just flat out saying, "We are siding with Islam. No ifs and buts. We're not discussing it. We side with Islam. They get to be right wing. They get to be proud. They get to defend themselves. You do not. You have to be left wing. You have to be good little communist fuck pigs while we steal your country and hand it gift wrapped to a foreign death cult." The craziest thing of all is Muslims don't even want help from the police. They hate the British police. They want the whole thing gutted and replaced with Sharia. If a policeman rushes in to save a Muslim, the Muslim will stab him. That happened for real in Germany, I think it was. And it was just so emblematic of the whole fucking clown show. That's what happens. And the British police will run head first into a Muslim's sword to try and kill a British man. That's how much they hate the British public. They hate us even more than the invading death cult hates us. It's a hell of a love triangle of gang warfare we found ourselves embroiled in every time we leave the fucking house. We've got these two different roving gangs. The police hate us, but they love the Muslims. The Muslims hate the police, and they hate us. And we're just here. We just wanted to play video games and grill, but here we are. Any day now, someone's going to die. Someone's going to be killed by the roving gangs of armed Muslims to whom Keir Starmer just gave the green light. The fact that it hasn't already happened is nothing short of a miracle. So, never mind resigning. Starmer needs to resign the day before yesterday. He needs to be in prison yesterday. There's a nationwide race war on his watch.
And not only did he do nothing to stop it or even attempt to bring peace, he chose a side in the race war. And he solemnly vowed to crush his enemies. Now, it's not the first time the leader of a people has done that, but usually the enemies in question are not the people he's supposed to be leading. Because that would be the single most retarded thing any leader has ever done, ever. But here we are. And I don't know what to say other than get the fuck out of my pub, Starmer. But by that I mean, Mr. Prime Minister, it is with great enthusiasm that I politely invite you to get the fuck out of my public service. And to repeat, do not attend any of these protests. I have to say that, or Keir Starmer will arrest me. And with that, message ends. Rule Britannia.
It was a long smoke. But yeah, I want to reiterate that we're just banging our heads together when it comes to this left-right paradigm. What we're dealing with is beyond such a dichotomy. What's happening is some very powerful people are trying to create a one-world government. What stands in the way of a one-world government? Nations, countries, sovereignty. So the plan, in the face of these obstacles, is to melt all the countries together so no one can tell the difference anymore. Now, that's not just a conspiracy theory. Well, it is. People conspire to occupy national governments, don't they? They do it every day in big ornate buildings, wearing pantsuits and talking in evasive gibberish. Is that a conspiracy theory? Yes, that's literally what it is. World leaders are stood there in front of 1,000 cameras, conspiring about the creation and maintenance of nation states and their laws. And when you see this, you theorize that they are indeed doing that. Well, get a load of this. Some people, in similar ways, conspire to create and maintain a one-world government. And it's not just politicians. It's not just shady shit like the UN and the WEF and all that malarkey. You can ask the average person on the street, do you want a one-world government? And many of them will say yes. They think it's a great idea. It would be so convenient. These people talk amongst themselves about their political decisions, and then they make those decisions in secret. It's called voting. That's all a conspiracy is. People do it all the time at every level of development. Parents conspire with each other over how to raise their children. Companies conspire over how to make a profit. Citizens conspire over how to run countries. So the idea that that's as far as it could possibly go, the idea that it suddenly stops at the level between one nation government and one world government, no one's talking about that. No one would ever go that far. It's in absolutely nobody's vested interest to even discuss such a matter as frivolous as absolute global domination. No, and you're a crazy homeless vagabond if you think it ever could be. Pshaw. Pshaw twice, I say to you, and thrice pshaw. Yeah, no, sorry if this sounds crazy, but the world is full of people who want to rule the world. Welcome to your life. Do I have to break it down for you any further, or is this another one of those obvious truths that you're just pretending isn't real? There are powerful people who want to rule the world, and what many of them have figured out is it's a lot easier to rule the world if everyone is equal, if everyone's the same. And so you melt the countries together. You melt the populations together. You open all the floodgates and leave them open until any given nation is just a puddle of other liquefied nations. And if that puddle is 1% cream, 99% coffee, well, them's the breaks. They don't care, bro. They want to rule the world. They don't even care what the world even looks like. Even if it's 100% ashes, they want it. And if they get it, it will be the end of history. It will be the end of everything. Without competition between nations, there will be no deterrent to corruption, and there will be no escape from the corruption. There will be no free market. There will be no free anything. It would be an extinction level event, one way or another, or several. But there's an easy way to stop it, folks. You just have to be proud of your nation, proud of your people, and what they have done with their land. You need to stand by it as a distinct product of nature, one that deserves its own spoils. Can you do that for me, ladies and gentlemen? No matter where you live, no matter where you are quote-unquote from, take pride in the people who are closest to you and stand by those people. And then move to another continent if you want to. I mean, it should be an option. It should be an option, just in case. Just in case. I mean, the case that's just the case is pretty close to being the case, isn't it? I mean, isn't it? All right, thank you very much, everyone. Don't hit like, don't hit subscribe, don't hit the notification bell, none of it does anything. But that's fine, I don't really do much either. And why would I? There's never been a better time to be lazy and wheezy and fat. I'll kill you all.
You will not kill me all.
I have already killed you all. By the way, there's another honey badger meetup in Calgary on September the 13th. Check out some link or other that I'm going to put here or somewhere. And I'm actually going to be there this time. Hopefully. I don't even know what anything is anymore. Get off, leave me alone. And please give me money or I will be broke. Thank you in advance and in general. I hereby escape into the foggy distance for an undisclosed period. Who even said that?